Well, hey there guys, and good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to another episode here in the Terraria series. If you don't remember, last episode we finished off building our little base, our little outpost here, before going and doing a decent chunk of mining down here. But if you don't remember, at the end of last episode, or somewhere during last episode, I said about putting up a poll with some name suggestion ideas, and we now have a winner. And from this point on, this outpost here will forever be known as Adder Outpost. Yay! But either way, my plan for today, guys, is I would like to do some surface exploration, but I also do really need to get this health up. And looking at it though, it is currently quite early in the Terraria day, so what I'm going to do is come up this way and actually do a bit more exploration of the surface here, because we've been over this way, but we haven't really been this way very far on the surface. We kind of went a little bit and then dipped underground instead, if that makes sense. But what we're going to do now is see if we can't go even just a little bit more on the surface and see what we can find around here. I mean, I don't need to go over this mountain, but well, I say mountain, it's more of a hill really. But either way, coming past here, and I think there might, looking at this, yeah, there's another desert. I mean, this oasis here could be a good place to build our little desert outpost, but we'll have to think about that later, because as much as I love building, I'm not looking to do any more just quite yet. I'd like to get some, come on, there we go. I'd like to get some exploration done and out of the way first, which I think is, I think it makes sense. But speaking of exploration, if we do come to it, that looks like it could lead to something down there if we decided to head down there. But either way, continuing along here, I mean, there's a chest here. There's two chests here, in fact. So, opening them up, we have a wooden boomerang, which is not that useful. A herb bag, which has a lot of plants in it. Grenades, rope, shurikens, healing potions, recall potions, silver coins, and wood. As well as over here, we have another chest with coins, torches, recall potions, rope, grenades, throwing knives, and a violent radar, which will let us know how many enemies are nearby, as well as our little life form analyzer that lets us know if there's any fair enemies nearby. But either way, looking at this, we've actually found a tree, big tree. So what I'm gonna do is head on down said big tree and hopefully find some good loot down here. I mean, we have the sky to plant fiber cordage, and I'm going to stop reading out all of this because there's a lot of stuff in there. And I've just thought, actually, I'm going to grab up this, head back up here, and grab up these as well, because I feel like they'd definitely be better to be able to grab up the chest from around the world rather than having to make them and use a bunch more lead on them. And there's another desert over here. There's a lot of deserts in this world, I'll say that. But looking in here, we have a murderous umbrella. Too bad it's a melee weapon. Sounds quite funny. But looking in here, we have, yes, this is the room I was looking for. And it's a finch staff. I was hoping there would be a living leaf and a living wood wand in there, but from the look of it, no such luck. But we do have another chest down here with just another step stool. And a gnome. There's a gnome in the tree. Oh, okay, the gnome is moving. Why the gnome is moving? I don't know. So I am going to come over here, take a little look at the gnome. If I'm right in thinking, hopefully I know how to deal with this guy. I have not... What? Oh, we died. I was trying to lead it into the sunlight because I'm pretty sure if you lead them into sunlight, they become garden gnome statues and you can place them down to give you like more luck or something like that. But either way, what I'm going to do is come on home, quick stack all of this away. And that is not the right placement. Place down all of these extra chests we've gotten. And so what I'm going to do is take all of the loot we've just gotten and sort all of it sort of just away into the chests. So what I'm going to do is do all of that and I'll see you when it's done. Let's do this. So guys, as you can see, what I've done is labeled these chests here, banners and trophies, fishing, stars and misc, and accessories. And what I might actually do now is, like I said, I want to do some surface exploration, but I do need more health. I need to upgrade my health, and how did that take so long for me to think of what to say? Either way, what I need to do that is find these things called heart crystals, if you didn't know already, which you can find underground. And you might be getting where I'm going with this. We have to do yet another trip underground. I mean, it's definitely starting to sound like I'm obsessed with it, but Seth still has not tried. I mean, there's one underground biome I can think of where if we find it, we definitely get quite a bit of the resources we need from there, let's say. And if you know what biome I'm on about, leave it down in the comments, let me know what you think. I will, if I remember, tell you later on. I mean, if we find it, you'll know. But if you think you know what I'm on about, make sure to leave it down in the comments. Let me know, and I'll try and remember which what I'm on about. But I might not. But either way, I'm gonna stop talking now because I've gone on just a random rant there, and I don't even know why anymore. What I'm gonna do is come mining here through all of the dirt and stone and look for some resources. And looking at this, we have a couple more sapphires, which, I mean, we definitely don't have enough yet, but if we do get enough, we might be able to make a gem hook out of them today, which, I mean, it would definitely be very useful for traversal. But either way, grabbing up that lead there and coming down to grab up this lead here as well, already off to a pretty decent start resource-wise, looking at that. I mean, there's obviously much better resources than lead than we can get, like tungsten, platinum, but we do still have copper armor, so even lead is an increase to that. And I mean, it's always useful to have. It's quite useful for making some of my favorite decorational blocks, like the tool gates. I quite enjoy them. But either way, coming down here, what I'm gonna do is sort of alternate how this tunnel I'm digging goes down, because I don't really want to come back down here later and just like die of fall damage. I also don't want like that yellow guy up there, those slimes or creatures, just be able to just straight drop down onto my head. It wouldn't be very fun if that was the case. But what I'm going to do instead is sort of alternate how I'm coming down in this tunnel. And I mean, there's a lot of sands down here in these caves. I mean, not that I'm complaining, because it means that I'll have plenty of sand for like glass and stuff, for making windows. You know what I mean? Windows, I quite like using them as a decorational thing. Yet again, a lot of the resources in this game I look at sometimes just from a purely like, would I use this in a build standpoint? I think I discussed this last episode, but I really do like building in this game. And actually, I'm curious, for you guys, if you played this game before, let me know down in the comments. What is like your favorite part of Terraria? Because obviously it's like Minecraft in the sense that like both games have they're both like sandboxes. So really, you can do what you want in them. I mean, obviously in Terraria at least there are like bosses that you can fight, and there is like a sort of story, I suppose, a progression. But overall, it is just a sandbox, and you really can pretty much do anything you want in it. So like my personal favorite thing to do is build and explore. I love doing it. I always have, and I just think it's really fun. But I know other people may like sort of doing the wiring the most. They might like doing the combat and getting really powerful, and I'm just curious, which part of the game do you like the most? But either way, what I'm going to do is go mining for a bit, and I'll let you guys know when I find something interesting. So, without further ado, let's do this. Well, that really lasted long, didn't it? We have found another minecart track. So, coming along this track, and I mean, there's already some resources along here. But I mean, this is really close to the first one. I wonder how long this is. Like, cause surely it can't be all that long if we didn't see it before when we came down a bit from the first one, because it's really close to it. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just like confusing it or something and it's not that close. I mean, looking at it, this has gone quite far down and still is, and that one's staying quite high up. But I mean, coming along here, there don't look to be many resources. Not that I can particularly see. I mean, there's some lead there. Oh, there's something. There is some. I mean, there's some lead up here. First and foremost, I will grab that. But there is, more importantly, some tungsten down here, which we will... I mean, we made this tungsten bow last episode. Hopefully we should potentially be able to turn some of our armor and maybe like our axe, our hammer, and so on into lead or tungsten by the end of today's episode. Because, I mean, our copper armor... it's better than nothing, and it's better than wooden armor, but it's definitely not the best armor by a long shot. And I mean, neither is like lead armor or tungsten armor, but they are better than copper armor. But speaking of copper, there looks like, I mean, this looks like a pretty big vein of copper. And I do actually, I don't mind some of the copper blocks. I mean, I don't usually use them in builds, but I am looking to, like with the with Adder Outpost on the surface, I don't usually build like that. I am sort of trying to, I guess, experiment a bit more with this series, because normally I just play the game where either I will spend loads of time building like massive bases and then not spend much time underground and like doing the progression, or I'll really speedrun the progression and just see how quickly I can beat the game, for example, but then like not put any effort into builds. I'm sort of trying to do a bit of a balance, as well as I want to sort of mess around with some wiring and some like trying to build some different farms and such. But overall, I mean, I'm just sort of excited to see where this series goes, sort of naturally, and how it adapts. Overall, I don't really have all too many like big plans. I've got a couple ideas for like build designs, but I mean, overall, I'm sort of just ready to go with the flow. But I mean, if you guys have any ideas for like build designs for different biomes, feel free to let me know. I sort of have a couple in mind, like I said, but overall, I've said overall so many times, but in general, I've sort of just decided that I want to just see where it goes. But either way, as I said before, I'm actually going to like go mining and explore for a bit, and I will see you when that is done. So, there's a bat. I don't like these bats, I really don't. There we go. I'll see you when it's done. Let's do this. So guys, as you can see, I found this area down here which has some lead and some tungsten, some platinum up there I think, but more importantly, there is another one of these houses here. So what I'm going to do is wait for this worm to come back so I can smite it out of existence. There you are. Gotcha. But what I'm going to do is come here and check this out, and we just have another pair of Hermes boots, which also don't have any modifiers on them. But what I'm going to do is grab up this chest and come over here and grab this lead, and then grab the platinum from up here. I mean, as you can see, this is, I mean, there's 2 lots of platinum, and there's some amethyst, I think. But I mean, this is a pretty big cave area that we found here. And it looks like there's some more, like, areas to explore over there. So I think, in like exploration terms, I suppose we are doing like quite well today. No heart crystals yet though, which is a bit annoying, is sort of the main reason why I came down here today. But either way, what I'm going to do is grab this platinum, which I mean isn't much, but platinum's platinum when you're early game, which I'd still consider. I mean, we're episode 4, I think this is. I know, I'm already losing track. But I think this is episode 4, so I'd still consider us to be relatively early game. But either way, grabbing up this, and I don't think we're one short. We're one short of what we'd need to make a gem hook. Oh, that's really annoying. But I'm sure we will reach the point of being able to make things like hooks. Eventually, we'll get there eventually. But for now, we just need to clear up all of this, and I've lost my train of thought. What I'm going to do is collect this platinum, and there looks to be like another little area over here. But so, getting rid of this bat and coming to take a look, I'm going to leave that lead and that copper. I mean, there's more platinum up there. So I suppose, okay, what I'm going to do, make a bunch of these platforms and just make my way up here safely so I can grab up this here platinum. Because I mean, platinum is definitely very useful, and I think that's an archery potion is going to be very useful for us as well. I mean, looking at that, there's a gem tree, but I don't know if you guys remember, the last gem tree we found was not very good. So, coming up here and seeing about clearing up this gem tree, do we get anything this time? I mean, we don't get any gems, but we do get a ruby gem corn, which is quite useful. If you don't know, if we place that on a stone block, and I think it has to be, it's either the underground or the cavern layer, but I think it has to be at least in one of those. But if we plant that on a stone block, we can grow our own gem trees, which basically means we can farm the gemstones. And yes, this is the biome I was looking for, I was telling you about. These places, underground glowing blue mushroom biomes, they can be a hive, an actual hive of so many resources. It's actually amazing. So, I mean, well done if you guessed it down in the comments. To be honest, I don't know, like, how many people in the Terraria community, like, see underground mushroom biomes the way I do, but, I mean, me and my friend, we both, like, well, at least I think we both agree that they are a very good place to go. If you find one and if you're looking for lots of resources, they are the place to go sometimes. But they can be sort of, I guess, I don't know really if this is the right word, but they can be a bit dangerous, sort of early game. So what I'm going to do to attempt to be a bit safer is, ooh, that is an ore that I cannot mine yet. That is Crimtane. And if you didn't know before, you should know now what kind of evil we have on this world. But either way, there is also a life crystal over here, which is very good because they are what I was looking for. I want to get a bunch of those so I have a bit of a healthy increase before heading off into the underground desert because of ranger progression, which is going to be fun. I'm thinking of, before I actually head into the underground desert, finding the desert where our entrance to it is and sort of building another outpost, another base sort of thing there that's sort of deserty themed. I'm thinking about maybe doing that even like next episode after, sort of just finding time to build that. But what I'm going to do is mine up this tungsten here as well. We actually have enough sapphires for a sapphire gem hook when we return to the surface, which will be quite nice. But as I was saying, what I'm going to do is mine up all of this tungsten as well to get the material to be able to make armor, make tools, and so on. I mean, we found I'd say that's a pretty decent amount of tungsten that we found so far today. But what I'm going to do is come down here, get this life crystal, and then make my way down, trying to be relatively safe about it, to the bottom of this mushroom biome. And there's a spore bat here. I mean, that guy got ended quickly, but that's beside the point. So I will see you when I get down to the bottom. And so yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Well, let's do this. I mean, this is like a vein of ore that leads onto a vein of ore that leads onto a vein of ore. I mean, as you can see, guys, I've sort of safely reached the underneath of like the bottom, or potentially looking down here, the middle layer of this mushroom biome, and there is another life crystal up there, which I will go back up and grab in a minute. But first of all, I saw this lead, but I also saw, more importantly, this platinum down here. But I mean, looking at the lead, it's led onto some copper as well. The lead has led. That is poetic. It's poetic. And there looks to be like a salamander enemy down there, which, I mean, as much as I like reptiles and lizards in general in real life, which you probably guessed from the channel rebrand that I can't remember if I ever really talked about, but I changed the channel name I say quite recently. It was about 3 or so weeks ago. I made a community post about it, from Hylian Sky to That Scaly Gamer, and you could probably tell from that. I like reptiles. You might think just things with scales in general. I mean, fish are quite cool. Speaking about things with scales, but it's definitely more like centralized, might be the right word, on reptiles. They are like my favorite category, I think is the word, of animals. But either way, enough ranting about that. I can see there's actually another 2 life crystals here, and I mean, you can probably tell what I mean from like the ore we've gotten, like the platinum, the lead, copper, the tungsten as well, and will soon be 3 life crystals we've gotten from down here as well. You could probably tell why I like coming to these mushroom biomes whenever I need to get a lot of like resources. It's definitely a very fast way to get a lot of what can sometimes feel like quite rare items. And looking at that, oh, that's kind of rare, I think. We got lucky here. Looking over here, this is a mushroom biome with a house in it. I rarely see those. Like, I really don't see them often. That's quite good. I really like that. So, making my way over here, it's very nearly started saying making my way downtown. I probably get copyright for that. So, making my way over here, and I mean, you can see from our count here, there's 14 enemies nearby. But, I mean, they're up there and we're down here, so they can't really bother us that much, thankfully. So, as I was saying, coming along, and coming up soon, I'm gonna have to actually come up to where the house is if I want to loot it. But, I mean, before that, we seem to have encountered another patch of lead, and I'm looking up there, and there looks like there's... Wait a minute, does this house not have a chest? I can't see a chest on this. Oh, there it is. I was just being a bit blind. So, grabbing up all of this lead. It's probably the lead poisoning really from all of the lead I've been collecting. I mean, I've got 234 lead in my inventory right now. I mean, what can I say? Lead can be useful sometimes. How much platinum have I got? I mean, 63 platinum ore as well is nothing to like shy off about. I think that's how the saying goes. There's a lot of resources to be had in places like these. It's why I love coming to them so much. Because I really like just getting resources in large amounts, and I don't know why. I guess I just like having a lot of everything for if I ever like need it or want to build something with it or feel like using it. And I mean, it's kind of faint, but looking over here, there looks like there's where this blue jellyfish is. It looks like there's some of those wooden beams, and if you see those underground, usually they indicate a house, so there might be another one. But either way, look at this. We have a magic mirror as well as a bunch of other useful goodies, including a shroom cart. But this magic mirror is definitely useful because unlike the recall potions we were using before to get home, whenever we went to a place underground like this, the magic mirror is special because it's like an infinite use thing. Just look or gaze into the... Oh, I hate these black slimes in these places. They're like invisible. But you just gaze into the magic mirror and you return home. And it's an infinite use thing. It like doesn't get consumed or used up by it or anything. You can just keep using it to return home. I mean, it is slower. Like, it takes more time to actually pop home. So recall potions can be quite handy. For example, if you fall in lava and you start taking lots of damage, you're more likely to survive using a recall potion than you are using a magic mirror. But they're obviously both useful. There's a lost girl near here somewhere. I don't know where, but they have, or she has, an item that I need. And so I'm gonna go find her. Because I mean, clearly, if there's a lost girl, we gotta go. You know, you gotta go save her. Like, we'd be horrible people if we just left her. You know. Hey, come here. There she is. I see her. There's a spore bat trying to follow me. Right, so coming down here and not so lost, are you? Oh no, this was a bad idea. No! My 1 gold! I mean, we know for next time you come down here, there's a house. I saw some platinum, some tungsten, 2 life crystals down there that we haven't yet raided. So a lot of material down there that would be very useful for us to get. But if I look in here, I don't know where I'm gonna store all of this stuff. But I guess for now, I should sort this out like this. So bars and gems, putting you away. And I guess putting the ruby gemcorn in there. Stars and mist, that's where I suppose that will go. Glowing mushrooms, I'm going to put in blocks just because... No, actually no, I'm going to put them in potions and ingredient as well as all of these potions here. And those ones. And then finally we have accessories for those. But speaking of bars and gems, what I'm going to do is take all of those as well as all of this and see what I can make. So first off, I'm going to make a sapphire hook and put that on, and I'm going to make a bunch of platinum as well as a bunch of tungsten, and finally a lot of lead. So what I'm gonna do first is make a platinum pickaxe, and then since we can't afford any armor, make a bow as well. And look at this, we still have some left over, so I'll make an axe to go with it. And so we've got a normal platinum bow, a quick platinum pickaxe, and a normal platinum axe, which is definitely better than what we had. I mean, it's gone from 10 damage to 13 damage. I mean, tungsten armor wise, I guess, yeah, chestplate looks like all we can make. But then, speaking of armor-wise, we can also make these lead greaves and this lead helmet to round off our look. And then I'm also going to make this tungsten hammer, which will be a lot better than our copper one, both on range and also on, like, speed. It will be a lot faster using the tungsten one. And wow, we used up all our platinum. But you can see we definitely have a lot of a new look. And we also now have this handy dandy gem cook. But what I'm gonna do is sell all of these here. And I'm going to put all of our money in there. So guys, what I'm gonna do now is what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to head on back down to where that nymph, that lost girl, was not actually a lost girl, it was a nymph. We were deceived, we were fools, deceived by the deceiver of fools. That's not a reference to any achievement whatsoever. Don't quote me on that. But I'm gonna head back down there and look at that house. But more importantly, grab up those 2 life crystals, the quite big vein of tungsten, and the honestly what looks to be pretty decently sized vein of platinum as well. But obviously, first things first, we need to get back there, and I need to remember the way. But I mean, now we can show off the new minecart we have, which I think might actually be faster, and it glows, which is always useful. Gotta love glowing things. And that is going to be taken out of context. But either way, coming down here, and there's a red slime which we must snipe. That snipe was not very good. But coming down here, I mean, you can definitely see where we had some pretty big, pretty open cave systems to explore. I mean, I'm glad we went down them because, well, we may have died in the end eventually. Overall, we made big bank on, like, the resources we got. And what I'm going to do is, I know it's relatively safe because of the water down here now, so I'm just going to drop down. I think with our now 11 defense is pretty good, but more importantly, our increased health pool should hopefully be able to survive if anyone or anything were to spawn in. But what I'm gonna do is come along here like this, and then come into here like that. To try and not bypass entirely, but at least get past a little bit that skeleton. I mean, more like Hermes boots are always nice, but Violent is not a good not a good buff for us. But Platinum Bars is always useful and summons the Eye of Cthulhu. A suspicious looking eye. I mean, I don't personally think I'm ready for that yet. You guys might disagree with my gear, but I don't think I'm ready for that. But I mean, to be fair, once I put on this last over here life crystal, well, I say last, there'll be a lot more life crystals for health upgrades. But once I put on this life crystal over here as well, there'll be, I think it's a 33% chance of it just showing up every night anyway. So, I guess ready or not, here it comes. But what I'm going to do is grab up this last crystal, and I think I'm going to keep mainly to underground exploration today. But definitely next episode looking to start at least scouting for an area to build our desert base. And maybe getting started on building it, but definitely not like completing it in any like degree. Probably gonna take me a bit of time to build it. Just like it took a... I see you there. You cannot snipe me. You cannot snipe the sniper. That's probably very untrue. You can probably like quite easily snipe a sniper if they're not like... Oh, I just turned my torch off. I don't like that. But, I mean, looking at this, there is another life crystal down here. So we're doing fairly good. We've gone from having 100 max HP at the start of the episode to having, what, 220? Yeah, 220. And I mean, there's another minecart track here as well. So what I'm going to do is hop on this minecart track and not head that way. Not without sniping that guy at least. And just see what we can find along the minecart track. In the other direction. This has happened twice now. So, heading along here. And I mean, kind of just sort of heading back through here. I mean, maybe that's why we've gotten so many life crystals. Because there's a mushroom biome so close. But... oh, that was not expected. That was big pain. That did a lot of damage there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I did not see a pressure plate for that boulder. And so I suppose the sniper has indeed been sniped. But what I'm going to do is grab up this container, and yes, if you guys have not worked it out yet, we indeed have a crimson world here, which, I mean, I put it on a... I didn't pick the world, I put it on random, and it just kind of rolled crimson, but I'm not complaining too much about it. I mean, I don't really mind whether it's crimson or corruption. I think either are pretty chill. Speaking of being chill, we're in a found a marble biome over here, and I know one enemy at least is not chill. The false ranger, as I like to call them, the hoplite. The ones that throw javelins. Those guys over there. The reason I call them the false ranger, well, I mean, they're not a false ranger, they are definitely a ranger, because they use javelins, which is like a ranged thing. But they're they're a bad ranger because they're not a bow slinger. I mean, I say that, but quite often when I play ranger, I don't stay true to one type of weapon. Normally, I switch between a few of them, which is why I sort of imposed the bow slinger, I suppose, challenge on myself. I mean, it's not really, most likely, probably not going to be all that much of a challenge. But I mean, we've gone quite deep looking at that. But I mean, as I was saying, it's probably not going to be all that much of a challenge per se, as much as it's just going to be a fun little thing. I mean, Ranger is got to be my second favorite class to play. I mean, my opinions on classes are quite skewed in this game from what most people say, from what I can tell. Because my favorite to play is Mage. I love Mage. I think the weapons are the coolest. I think it's got some of the coolest like effects. I love it. And that's followed by Ranger, which is actually tied closely with Summoner. And then Melee is at the bottom for me. And I'm not saying like I don't like the Melee class. I mean, it's a chill class. It's pretty good. It's got some strong weapons, good armor. It's just like not my favorite. And I mean, they're all close. It's just like not as high on my list as like Mage, for example. I really like the Mage class. I think it's one of the most fun. I was actually considering doing a Mage run, like a Mage only run for this series instead of the Bowslinger one. But the reason I didn't is actually because I recently was doing a Master Mode run of the game as a Mage, which that's also the reason I decided to do Classic Mode instead. I'm not very good at Master Mode. I mean, you might be able to tell from how I'm playing Classic Mode and getting hit a lot. I'm not very good at the combat in this game. But either way, I digress. Coming through here and clearing out some of this, what I think I'm going to do is just go mining for not that much longer, just a little bit longer. Because I mean, for the most part actually, I have pretty much everything I wanted to get for now. So I'm thinking of, yeah, actually just returning home, putting all of this away, coming into ores to put our lead away as well. In potions, putting away teleportation potion. Actually, I need to put this. That is the most annoying thing about the magic mirror, when you're accidentally holding it, especially if you're underground when you do it. It's so annoying. But as I was saying, put this Crimtane away. And I'm going to put Cobwebs Go and Stars and Mist. Mob drops. I have a furniture and decor. And I am actually going to, I think it's 2 bars I need. I'm going to craft another final chest to put up here called Summoning Items. And that is where our suspicious looking eye is going to go. But looking at that, we just had a traveling merchant and he is over here. His name is Abraham? Oh no. A frame. Sorry, bro. A thrift shop? No, I am only selling the highest quality items on the market. I mean, I'll be the judge of that. What am I selling? Pad Thai, portable cement mixer, paint sprayer, stopwatch. That is an accessory I will need later, so I will buy that. I mean, you are selling some pretty good items, I'll give you that. But either way, with that, guys, I think I'm actually going to call it there looking at the time. I spent a lot of time underground mining today, but I mean, you can already tell from looking at us compared to the start, we got some big gains from it. We over doubled our health pool. We definitely increased all of our gear. And now, I'm ready to go and do some exploring for a place to build our desert base. I have some ideas for how I want it to look, but not really set on anything right now. So if you have any ideas, make sure to let me know of them. But either way, thank you guys for watching here till the end, if you did make it here. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, share my channel with your friends to help me grow, and leave a comment telling me what you thought. But either way, I will see you next time. Bye bye.